and welcome back to our Ultimate Decades Challenge. We are here in the year 1387, and we are starting out with the Berman family because unfortunately we do have to start this year off with Darren Berman here, who is scheduled to pass away this year, first in January. And so we are going to be rolling to find out what it is that he is dying from. He did roll on his last birthday that this was the time frame that it is for him to pass away. So we are just going to be going and giving it a roll to find out what it is that he is going to be passing away from. So let's go ahead and we are going to pull up the wheel and give that a spin and find out what it is that he is going to be passing away from. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel and find out what it is that Darren Berman is passing away from.
Freezing.
So Darren Berman is going to be passing away from freezing. So we are going to go ahead and take Darren Berman away from the family here. We are going to kill him. He is going to be going death by freezing, and we are going to go ahead and let him die now. Unfortunately, that is super sad. As we know, Joan and him, Joan's going to be gloomy now. She has felt an overwhelming sadness wash over her. She can't help but feel gloomy at the moment. So as we know, these two were married for a very long time. They had no children. It was just the two of them, and now she has lost the love of her life. She is going to be all by her lonesome for the remainder years of her life here. Without Darren, I think that's going to be really sad for Joan. Obviously, she is distraught over the loss of her husband. She is going to be a widow, living out the rest of her days alone here without children, as we know, and it's going to be really, really sad for her. But unfortunately, Darren, it was his time to pass on. We are going to take a look and see when he was born so that we can engrave his epitaph, and we will obviously have Joan take him to his final resting place once the Grimm here has finished doing his thing with Darren here. She's just so distraught over this loss. I hate it for her. I really, really do. All right, Darren. It was so nice having you around, but let's go ahead and take a look and see when Darren was born so that we can go ahead and engrave his epitaph. He was born in 1328. So we're going to engrave this 1328 to 1387, and we'll let her go ahead and pick up his tombstone here, and we're going to have her travel on so that she can drop his tombstone off at the cemetery. All right, so we have arrived here at the cemetery. We are just going to go ahead and place Darren down here where he needs to be on his final resting place. All right, so we have placed Darren down in his final resting place here, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to send Joan on home and let her obviously head back to the house here. We will update the spreadsheet that he has gone ahead and passed away. So he has passed away. He is deceased now in January of 1387. He has passed away from freezing. And so Darren is no longer with us. And we are going to be going and seeing our next person, which is Byron Goodwell. He also is passing away in this first part of the episode. And so we are going to go and see Byron Goodwell next. She's so sad. It says here that fewer things are sadder than when spouses are separated by death, that she is sad from losing a true love. Okay, we have arrived here in the Goodwell home. This here is Byron Goodwell. He is, as you can see, a toddler. He is unfortunately scheduled to pass away We are going to have to roll to find out, or not roll, but spin the wheel to find out what it is that he is passing away from. So we are going to just go ahead and open up the wheel and find out what it is that Byron is passing away from. So let's go ahead and give that a spin.
Broken bones.
Oh my goodness, he has passed away from broken bones. That sounds horrible, like absolutely just horrible. We are going to go ahead and take Byron now from his family. So let's go ahead and we will kill him. Oh, that sucks. Obviously, the whole family is going to be pretty distraught over the loss of Byron. We thankfully do have other males in this family, so they do have other heirs. But as we know, Roger has lost his wife. Now he's lost a son. This family has been hit with a lot of devastation lately. And I think that, they're not really sure why they're having so much devastation. And Roger is really, really distraught over this news. He's really having a hard time. He's already having a hard time because he's having to raise all of these children alone. And now he's lost a son. He's recently had lost his wife. And he's just really, really struggling with life right now in general. And I really absolutely feel just wretched over the loss of this family. We are going to have to take a look and see when Byron was born so that we can obviously engrave his epitaph, and we'll go ahead and we'll have Roger take Byron to his final resting place. Are you going to take him? Alright, so let's go ahead and see when Byron was born, and we will go ahead and engrave his epitaph. Alright, so Byron Goodwill was born in 1384. So 1384 to 1387. And I'm just going to go ahead and place this in his inventory, and then Roger can go ahead and he can take this to the cemetery. Okay, so we have arrived here at the cemetery. We are just going to go ahead and we are going to place Byron down in his final resting place. And we will be saying goodbye to Byron. So let's go ahead and we are going to go and we're going to now go see Odette Petechia because she also needs to pass away in this first part. So let's go see Odette Petechia. Okay, so we have arrived here in the Petechia home. This is little Odette here. She's so precious. I hate that she has to pass away. But this is Odette. She has rolled to pass away, unfortunately. We are just going to roll the wheel to find out what it is that is taking her from us. So let's go ahead and give that a spin.
Tuberculosis asterisk.
And unfortunately, she has died from tuberculosis, which, as we know, is a communicable disease. We are going to have to look at the timeline to find out how. It is 70% contagious, so we are going to have to roll for the rest of the family. So let's go ahead and let's spin for the rest of the family to find out if they're going to be able to make it or not. So we will spin for Genevieve. She needs anything higher than 70%. so Genevieve is good with 72%. And then we have Otis, her father. Who unfortunately is going to have to roll to see if he can survive tuberculosis. Then we have Esma, her sister, who needs to spin higher than 70%. And she's good at 86%. And then we have Watson, who needs to spin higher than 70%. Alright, so we'll have to see if he can survive tuberculosis as well. So that being said, let's go and see what is that they have to roll. So they need 3, 10, 11, 14, 17, or 18 in order to be able to survive. Let's go ahead and pull up our dice and give that a roll. So we're going to roll first for Otis. He rolls a 2 and is going to die. Oh, I hate that. And now Watson rolls an 8 and is going to die. Okay, well, we love that. All right, so we're going to lose Otis, and we're going to lose Watson, and we're going to lose Audette to tuberculosis. I mean, what are the odds of that happening, honestly? Pretty, well, 70%, I guess. I hate this. All right, so we are going to take these family members, and we will carry on. Let's go ahead, and we will take Audette here first. Otis is gloomy now. Well, Otis, you're about to die, so, I mean...
Oh, oh. Babe.
All right, so we have lost 3 people in this house. Let's see how this goes. Look at Genevieve is like, oh my God, what the hell has happened? She's freaking out. She's literally just lost 3 people in the space of like 5 minutes. They all just dropped like flies. We have lost little Audette. We will go ahead and take a look and find out when everyone has passed, like when they were born, so we can engrave their epitaphs. And then obviously we will take them to their final resting place. Unfortunately, this family just got significantly smaller. The only persons that are left is going to be Genevieve and Esma. There will be no heir for this family, unfortunately, which is going to be super, super sad. And obviously Genevieve is not going to be remarrying because Otis was the family member that was associated with like the bloodlines for the family. She was the one that married in. So we won't be having her remarry. She's just going to be a widow, which is going to be super tragic. That she's just going to kind of be on her own now, which I absolutely hate. But yeah, I hate that. I really, really do. I hate that we are losing Watson. I hate that they're not going to be a bit of an heir here. But thankfully, we do have other Petechias. And so I do think that, you know, at the very least, the Petechia name will carry on. It just won't obviously be this line of the Petechias. And Esma is obviously distraught over losing not only her father, but her siblings as well. She's now an only child with just her mom here. And this family has drastically changed just all of a sudden, and this sickness has really taken a toll on their family. The groom certainly does take his sweet time. All right. Everyone has been reaped. We are going to go ahead now and engrave everyone's epitaph. We need to look and see when everyone was born so that we can do that. Audette was born in 1384. So we're going to engrave hers as 1384 to 1387. Watson was born also in 1384. They were twins. 1384 to 1387. And Otis is 1362 to 1387. All right, so let's go ahead and put everything, oh, not you. Go ahead and put everything in your inventory and we will take them to their final resting places. She is truly, truly sad from losing a true love and from losing her children. She's just really, really distraught. We're going to go ahead and travel her over to the cemetery now so she can put them in their final resting place. Okay, so we have arrived here at the cemetery. We are going to place them all to rest here in the cemetery. Let's go ahead and do that now. We have to place all three of them, Otis and the twins, Audette and Watson, in their final resting place. All right, so they have been placed in their final resting place. We are now going to go ahead and just send her on back home. And we are going to take a look now at a historical fact. And we are going to read about that. So it does say, Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales appear. Geoffrey Chaucer was the first great poet of the English language. Before him, most writers used either French or Latin in preference to the more plebeian English. His best-known work is the unfinished Canterbury Tales, in which a diverse group of people recount stories to pass the time on a pilgrimage to Canterbury. So that happened in 1387. So that is our historical fact for 1387, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. We are now going to go ahead and take a look at our timeline. We do have a birthday to go over. It looks like Henry Del Madonna is going to be aging up to an adult. So we are going to head over to see Henry Del Madonna so that we can go ahead and age him up. So let's go ahead and head over to Henry Del Madonna. Okay, so we have arrived here at the Del Madonna residence. And we are just going to go ahead and we're going to be aging up Henry here to his adult stage. He obviously needs to roll to see that he's going to be able to do that. So we do have to roll the dice for him. He can't roll between a 1 or a 7 or he will die. So we do have to obviously roll anything higher than a 7 for him. So let's go ahead and roll the dice and see what he gets. All right, he survives. He is going to get 40 more days. So let's go ahead and age him up to an adult.
Terrible proud. Oh, break your knees.
All right, so he has the traits of unflirty, cool, night owl. He's poor, he's a collector, he's domestic, and he is a caregiver. So I am just going to go ahead now. We're going to head over to Renata Arundel because she is aging up to a young adult. Okay, so we have arrived here at the Arundel residence. This is Renata here. We are just going to be aging her up to a young adult. She can't roll a 3, 7, or a 19. So let's go ahead and roll the dice for her and see what she gets. Oh, what are the odds? All right, so let's roll a d10 to see how long she's going to be with us. 4 years. Okay. All right, so I will put on the timeline that Renata is going to be passing away in 1391. And we are going to go ahead and age her up to her young adult stage. And her skills or traits are that she is socially awkward, she is cheerful, romantic, she is also poor, animal affection, she is innocent, and she is a lover sim. And we are going to head over to see Bela Meshram now. She is going to be getting married in this part, and so we do need to go and take her to start meeting some gentlemen so that she can go ahead and start securing herself someone that she can marry. So we are going to head over now and see Bela Meshram and get her someone that she can start falling for. Okay, so we have arrived at the Meshram residence. This is Bela Meshram here. She is scheduled to become married in this part. So we do need to find her someone that she can get on with, someone that she can fall in love with. And so we are going to take her and we're going to let her go ahead and meet some of the suitors, and hopefully she'll find someone that she can fall madly in love with. So let's go ahead and we'll let her travel, and we're going to let her meet some of the gentlemen in the realm. All right, so we have arrived here at the bachelors of the realm here in Glimmerbrook. This place still doesn't have a name. If you guys want to give me a name for our world of Glimmerbrook, that would be appreciated. You can give me that in the comments below. But we are going to go ahead and have her go ahead and do a friendly introduction to Akram and to Zell. And we're going to see who it is that maybe she might like. Both of these guys are teens. So we are hoping that she's going to get on with one of them so that she will hopefully like them. She's like, I'm reacting to the first snow. Don't bother me. Okay, but really you need to, go and meet them, and we'll see how you get on with them. I'm hoping that somebody will tickle your fancy. All right, so these guys have good compatibility. She perceives him as unattractive, but they have good compatibility. Let's see how she gets on with the other guy. Please don't go off to school. All right, he went to school as well. So honestly, I need to figure out how to fix the settings. Let's go ahead and we'll send her home, and maybe I can get a computer to fix the settings. Okay, so it looks like I already have it where the teens quit school. So I'm not sure why they're going to school, but it would seem they are. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But she has met one of the gentlemen there at that house. Let's have her go and meet someone else that maybe isn't going to be at school. He is a little bit older, but we will have her go and meet him anyway and just see how they get on. All right, so we have arrived here at this house. We're just going to go ahead and see if we can get entry to the house. Let's knock on the door and see if we can go ahead and get entry into the home. And if we can, we'll see if we can meet the gentleman that lives here. And we will hopefully see if they can get on. I don't know if they will or not, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so she's been invited into the house. We are just going to look around and see if we can find the gentleman of the home. Maybe they're downstairs. The lady of the house is downstairs. But I don't see the gentleman of the house. Maybe he's upstairs. Yes, he is. All right, let's go ahead and get her to come and do a funny introduction with him. She's come in right away and started dancing. Can we not and say we did? Like, I know that you're having a good time, but go upstairs and meet him. Oh my goodness, she's having such a good time. She's feeling super happy. I mean, I love that you're feeling so great, but honestly, Bella, go upstairs. Bella. She's like, I'm not. He can come to me. I'm playing hard to get. Okay, get to know Benedict.
Chibi.
Yibsy.
All right, so they have met each other here, and she's gonna just kind of do a little bit of flirting with him and see how they get on.
Aga.
Oh, yes.
Babe.
Oh. Lobsy Grosh?
And she's just going to enthuse about cats with him, and she's going to try to talk to him about some of his interests. And let's see if they have any type of... Okay, so they're a romantic interest with one another, it looks like. So they do have a little bit of romance. And she's going to go ahead and ask him if he wants to dance with her. Clearly she likes to dance. So she's like, "Do you want to dance with me?" And he's like, "Oh, I would be more than happy to dance with you. I think that, I would love that." So they're going to go ahead and they're going to do a little bit of dancing together, and she's going to, try to get to know him a little bit while they're dancing. They're obviously going to have a little bit of a chat while they're dancing here. She is gaining the etiquette skill while they're dancing, which is fantastic. He obviously is, a little well-to-do. He's living in this big, mansion and everything. She is, a teenager. He is a young adult. So he is a little bit older than her, a little bit more experienced with life. And as we know, he was turned into a vampire, and she doesn't know that. But, she had seen him milling about the community, and he had caught her eye, and she thought, maybe he was someone that she might be interested in. And, she was thinking to herself that she would at least, introduce herself, because she would kind of like to meet different people. And, oh, he's a rascal. All right. She really does want to find someone that she can share her life with. And she is looking to marry. And so she's hoping that maybe someone like him would want to marry her. And, she's not exactly sure what she's looking for, but she is hoping that, he might be open to perhaps wanting to possibly be with her. She's going to ask him if he's single. Look at her be a little bit frisky with him. Like, she's pulling out all the stops. She really is. She's going to, drop her handkerchief and do a bunch of different things. She's going to, try to sing to him a little bit, because she's hoping that he's going to want to maybe be with her, because she is, I think a little bit attracted to him, but obviously she doesn't really know how to approach him, because he's a little bit older than her and more experienced, and she's just now coming into herself, really. And all she knows is that her family told her that she needs to obviously find someone to spend her life with. And so she's like, who do I approach to do that? And, who's really going to want to spend their life with me? And so she's not really sure who she's supposed to seek as far as a love interest goes. She was kind of going over to those teens' houses, and she was introducing herself to them. But, as you could see, she wasn't really attracted to them, and she didn't really know how she felt about it. She was just like, whatever. But this guy kind of, makes her heart go flutter, and she doesn't really know why. But I think the reason that it is that he makes her feel that way is because, he has this little bit of charm to him and a little bit of mysteriousness about him. And I think that's because of his vampire powers. And she has no idea about that, obviously. But I think that obviously makes her a little bit more keen to him and a little bit more drawn to him. Look at her swoon. And so she's just like, I'm really feeling a draw to him, and I don't really know why, but I really feel like I am, supposed to be with this guy for some reason. So she's going to, continue to try. She's going to try to talk to him about marriage and see how he feels about marriage.
Trickster. Cornelia.
Ibana wig on.
Ah, Betty.
Buna.
Oh. Sul.
Una Bisella.
Ah, Supta.
Why don't you go over here and ask him if he wants to court with you, Bella?
Kibaya.
Bella has entered into a courtship with Mr. Benedict Goodwell. Okay, I mean, so they're courting now. We love that. We do. she's like, well, if you're keen enough to court me, then surely you're keen enough to be my boyfriend. So she's going to come over here and she's going to ask him if he wants to be her boyfriend.
Bruna.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I do.
Solo florb.
Free bits.
A mookie.
Oh.
So she's going to tell him, look, I'm really attracted to you.
Sarpava Yonis. Una burr. Oh. Baringo. Oh, second A. Baringo.
So these two have spent quite some time getting to know one another. They have spent a bit of time, building up their romance. He is asking for her hand in marriage. Will she accept? Yes, she will accept. They have just gotten engaged. Okay. Well, we love that. That happened so nicely. All right, so these two are now engaged to be married. That is fantastic. I didn't even have to, ask him. He asked her, which is fantastic. Clearly, they have a deep relationship, and he feels the same for her that she feels for him. I am going to go ahead and send her on home, and then tomorrow, when she's supposed to get married, we'll obviously go ahead and have these two, get married, which is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see that take place. And I guess she's going to be moving into this house with him, which is a huge upgrade from where she's, coming from as far as where she lives now. It's quite an upgrade, actually. So we've arrived back at the Meshram home. She's just going to go ahead and tell her parents about the day that she's had, and she's going to explain to them that she has found someone and that she thinks that he's perfect for her. She's going to tell her dad about her upcoming nuptials. And she's going to say, I am so enthused about my wedding, Dad. You're just going to love him to death. Like, I think he's great for me. And he's going to be like, I'm really proud that you have found someone. And she's going to be like, it's really great. She's like, I think it's going to be fantastic. Like, he lives, in Scotland, and she's going to be like, I realize that I'm going to have to move far from home, but she's like, he's perfect for me, and we really hit it off. And her dad's like, that's really great, honey. And so they are, talking about the fact that, she has found someone that she gets to spend her life with. And Bella's feeling really, really happy about the fact that she has finally found someone. So her and her parents are really pleased that she's found someone that she's going to be able to secure her future with. And so I think that is, overall really great that they're being really supportive of her. Obviously, she is, her and her brother Allard are the eldest. As we know, Allard is the heir of this family. But Bella is, technically the oldest. And so they're really proud of her that she is finding someone that is going to be able to marry her, and they're really, really proud of her. Now, as we know, Allard did roll on his last birthday that he is supposed to pass away. And he's actually scheduled to pass away tomorrow, which is pretty unfortunate. Him being the heir to the Meshram family, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm going to probably plead for him and see if we can get him to survive, even though he's scheduled to die, because he's the heir and he's the only male Meshram. To save the Meshram name, I am probably going to plead for him. But he is, scheduled to pass away tomorrow. And he's the only male Meshram other than his dad. So I just think that it would be best for us to go ahead and try to plead for Allard here. Look how cute he is. He looks just like his dad. He really does. But so Allard is, like I said, scheduled to pass away tomorrow, but I think I'm going to try to plead for him, and we'll see if that works out for us in our favor. Hopefully it will, and we won't lose him, because I would like for him to be able to carry on the Meshram name. because he is their only son. So we'll see how that goes. And hopefully the Grimm will be kind to us, fate willing. That being said, we are going to go ahead now and we're going to check in with our main household. So let's go ahead and go and check on them. And then we will, you'll always be my baby. I'm sure her dad would tell her that. And she's like, Dad, I'm not a baby anymore. I'm about to be married. And he's like, but you'll always be my baby, even when you're married. And she's like, oh, Dad. But we're going to go check in on the main household. And then when it comes tomorrow, we will come back around to this family and we will see about Allard and what's going to happen with him. And then we have some birthdays to cover. And then we will be seeing Bella go ahead and get married to Benedict. So let's go see the main household. All right, so we have arrived here in the main household. We are just going to check in on everyone and make sure everyone's needs are doing pretty good and that everyone is feeling okay. It does look like everyone is starting to get a little bit hungry. So I may get Elmira to come downstairs and just whip up something to eat for everyone, just to make sure that everyone has some food to eat. So we'll just do a party size of gruel. I know that's not like the most filling of meals, but you know, it's something simple that she can make up real fast. And I know that we'll have enough ingredients for that. So we'll have her do that. And it's quick and simple. So we'll just have her make up some quick gruel and then everybody will be able to eat that. And then obviously she can go and feed Alexandru and Can, and maybe even Amy might need a feed as well. So we will take care of the little ones after the older, you know, the parents and Florence have eaten. So we love that. Xavier, honey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just, dealing with the horse. It's perfectly fine. Okay, great. All right, Elmira, finish that up, and then you can call everyone to a meal. Are you not going to call everyone to the meal? No? Okay. Well, we'll just get everyone to come in then. Come grab you a serving of this. All right, so these little ones are up here. They're just cooing with each other and becoming just the bestest of friends. We absolutely love that. When you're done with them, with eating, you can come up here and take care of these babies. So we'll get you to come up and we'll get you to breastfeed the little ones. Where's Amy? Amy's there. Alexandru's there. Oh, Amy's here. Okay, well, why is it not surprising that someone is on the beach? All right, finish your meal and then you can go ahead and take care of feeding them. I'll have Xavier go ahead and bring in the little one. He's heading out to go pick up Amy off the beach and bring her inside because, as we know, she got left, which, you know, not ideal. He's like, oh my gosh, my poor child. Yeah, your poor child has been neglected. Okay, you go ahead and take care of the children here. Florence is taking her sweet time eating, which is perfectly fine. When you're done with that, why don't you come out here and play some archery? Oh, not you. Oh, Katerina Augustin has gone into labor. Okay, let's go see Katerina Augustin. All right, so we have arrived here in the Augustin home. As you can see, Katerina is not happy. I mean, she is really uncomfortable. She's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea it was going to be like this. But it has to be like this, Katerina. Childbirth is no joke. So she's going to go up here. We're going to have her go on and give birth to her little one. As we know, she had a late start, but we're having a baby. Look at her. She's like, oh my gosh, it's a boy. All right, so we are going to open up the wheel for boy names, and we are going to give that a spin. And we're going to see what we're going to name this little one.
Elric.
So we are going to name this little one Elric Augustin. Elric. And it is a single birth. So we are going to go ahead and roll the dice for mom and baby. We are going to see what they get. And as we know, mom can't roll a 1. Baby needs an odd 8, 10, or 20. So let's roll for mom first. Mom gets a 7 and survives. Baby gets an 8 and does not survive. Little Elric is not going to make it. We are going to need to put on the timeline that Elric has not survived. It is March of 1387, and unfortunately, Elric has passed away here. So we will go ahead and put that on the timeline. So let's go ahead and just update that Elric Augustin has died. And we will put on the info tab that Elric has passed away as well. So Elric Augustin, son of Lucian and Katerina, is the 5th generation male in March of 1387. He is deceased in March of 1387. This baby's of British Spanish descent. I don't know if that is on my... Yeah, it is. Okay. Cause of death is stillborn, single birth. All right, and we will go ahead and unfortunately have to take this baby away from mom. Her first child, she was so happy about it, and unfortunately she has lost this baby. Oh, it is so, so sad. She's going to be super sad. Look at how sad she is. Oh, the poor thing. Katerina, you can try again. She's like, yeah, but I just lost my child. I know. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I hate it for her. This poor lady. Like, she is just so distraught. Oh, even William is so sad about the loss. Oh, William's like, that was my brother. I'm so sorry, William. This family is going to be in seriously sad shape over the loss of this baby. It's really, really sad. All right, so let's go ahead and head back over to the main household. I just want to check in on them, make sure that they actually got Amy. He likes video gaming. No, I don't think so. I just want to make sure they got Amy, and we'll continue out the rest of this day with them. And then we will head over back to our other family, the Meshram family, afterwards. Okay, so let's just check and see if Amy's in the house. She is. Is Can in the house? Yes. All right, everyone's in the house. That's perfect. We just need to make sure that all the babies have been fed. So it looks like Can needs to be fed. So can you come down here and feed this baby? Go feed Can. And then you can feed Amy. Alexandra is fine. And it looks like everyone else is good as well. You can go out and practice your archery for a little bit. And Xavier, why don't you come out and check on the chickens? He's like, okay, I can do that. All right, great. So we're just going to go ahead and have Xavier clean up a little bit with the animals. I'm going to have, obviously, Elmira check on the babies and give them a little bit of a feed. And she's going to, obviously, take care of her children. She's already fed the family, which is fantastic. We'll just pop this food in the fridge so it doesn't go off. Because, obviously, we don't want that happening. This food can just get thrown in the garbage. Florence is out here. She is just getting a little bit of archery skill in, which is fantastic. She's just doing a little bit of practice with that, while Xavier does some cleaning up around the house, which is wonderful news. We definitely needed him to do that.
Ooh, getting a rubby.
Buncha! Plus!
All right, Elmira, you need to also feed Amy because she's hungry. Can you put down can?
Oh.
All right, so she's put down can, and now she's going to hopefully take care of Amy. There we go. She's family oriented. Okay, yes, you can be family oriented. We love that for you.
Chankina.
Xavier's like, I'll help with the babies. All right, that's wonderful. You can help. Just don't take him out to the beach, because if you do, I'll be pissed.
Monzo.
Xavier, I hope you're cleaning up. You need to be cleaning like the shed and doing the coop and things like that. And obviously that sink needs to be repaired now. Look how confident he looks right now. He's like, I'm on top of the world. I'm back from war. I have myself a new wife. We're having children. I've got myself an heir. Life is good. Isn't it though? Isn't life good? We love that. We can sell this horse for $2,100, which is pretty good. I mean, it really is pretty good that we can sell the horse for $2,100. Let's open the profile and take a look. All right, so the horse is defiant, fearful, and needy, and it's got a temperament 8 right now. It is a good friend to us. We obviously can't ride it yet because it's still just a foal, but at this present time, it's still at $2,100 is still what it's worth. That's pretty decent. So I mean, I'm not complaining. We could technically sell this horse right now if we wanted to and make a pretty decent profit based off what we purchased it from, which is, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm really not complaining about that. But he's going to go ahead and go in here and he's going to fix this sink. And then I'm going to go ahead and head everyone off to bed so they can get a little bit of rest. Don't go into her bed. Go to your bed. Here, you go here and go sleep. Florence, honey, it's time for you to go to bed. Come in here and sleep. So everyone's going to sleep. It is officially the next day, which means that we do have to head over to the Meshram household. We do have to see about Allard passing away and obviously going ahead and seeing about Allard being able to be saved. And if we can plead for him and see if the Grim Reaper is going to obviously give him a break or not. So let's head over to the Meshram house. Okay, so we have arrived here in the Meshram home. This is Allard. He is a teenager and he is scheduled to die. We are going to roll the wheel and find out what he's dying from. Oh,
Whooping
no.
cough asterisk.
Whooping cough. And that affects the whole bloody family. All right, so with whooping cough, as we know, it has a... What's a whooping cough? Where is it? 25% chance of being caught by the rest of the family. So we are going to have to roll for the rest of the family. Let's go ahead and open up our wheel. We're going to roll first for DeMarcus. He needs anything higher than 25%. And he's good at 88%. And then we have his mother, Juliana. Who is also good at 53%. then we have, unfortunately, his sister Bella, who is scheduled to marry today. So let's hope she gets higher than 25%. And she does, thank goodness. And then we have his little sister Freya. Also is good. All right, so the only one that's going to be affected by the whooping cough is Allard. Obviously, we are going to plead for Allard, but we do have to, unfortunately, take him. So let's go ahead and we are going to kill him, and then we will plead for him. All right, Mom, get out here and plead for your son.
Nooch.
She's like, please don't take my only son. He said yes. Okay, you are my hero. I promise I won't forget that I owe my life to your heroic actions. He has been brought back to life by Juliana's impassioned pleas to the Grim Reaper. All right, yes. We freaking love that. So Allard gets to live, and I am stoked about that. I love that he gets to live because he is their only son, and I was hoping that we wouldn't lose him. So Allard is going to live. I am thrilled about that. I will put on the timeline when he is going to age up again. He's like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, great. Let me go ahead and put on the timeline when he's going to be aging up. And also, I just need to roll for him. Since he is going to live, we're going to roll for him and see if he's going to be able to marry. So let's do a D12 and find out if he's going to marry. And it looks like he is going to marry. And how many kids is he going to have? 9. All right, so we will be getting him married. All right, so now we need to go and we're going to see the timeline. We have some birthdays that we need to do. We have Alexandru, Arendelle, and Can Arendelle that are aging up into toddlers. So we need to roll for them. They can't roll a 1, 4, 8, 12, or 15. So let's go ahead and roll for them. At the end, I'll show you what they look like. So let's go ahead and roll for them. So for Alexandru, he is going to roll and he gets a 4. So we're going to roll a D4 and see how long he gets. He gets 2 years with us. All right, so 1389. And we also have Can. Let's roll for Can. And she rolls a 13 and survives. So she's going to get 16 more days. And then we have our next is Asilla Like is aging up into a child, and Amira Goodwell is aging up to a child. They get a 4, or can't roll a 4 or a 13. So let's go ahead and roll for them. So we have, first we're going to roll for Asilla Like. She rolls and gets an 18 and survives, and Amira rolls and gets a 13. So we will roll a D6. She's going to get 4 years. So 1391, she will pass away. All right. So I will age them up and show you what they look like at the end. For now, we're going to go see Bela Meshram, and we are going to get her married and let her start her life with her husband. Look at, she's over here with her family. They're doing a little bit of a fire.
Noom.
It's actually really, really early, so it's probably too early for them to go and get married right now. What is her brother doing? He's feeling super, super happy about the fact that he has outlived or come back to life, which is fantastic. We absolutely love that for Allard. He's like, thank God that I'm still alive, which is great for him. We love that. I was really, really worried on the fact that he was going to die, but thankfully he is not. We also need to find him a bride because he's going to be getting married in Part B, so that he can go ahead and find himself a lovely bride. So we will be obviously finding him someone that he can marry. So that's going to be fantastic, which is going to be happening in Part B, is he'll be finding himself a bride and getting himself married. But Bella is getting married in this part. She's like, okay, that was really hot. I didn't cool that down enough. I guess since we need some time to kill, I might as well go and age up the birthday sims. So let's go head over to the main household and we'll age up Alexandru and Can and do all of the age ups, and then we'll be able to deal with Bella. Okay, this is Alexandru Arundel. He was a intense infant. As a toddler, he is going to have the traits of a communication developmental delay, and he's going to be inquisitive. We are going to go ahead and give him his makeover and get his photo for the family tree. Okay, so there is Alexandru Arundel, and his sister Can was a wiggly infant, and as a toddler she is going to have the traits of being always sleepy and independent. Let's go ahead and get her makeover and her photo for the family tree. And there is Can Arundel. And let's go see Asila Like. Okay, this is Asila Like. We are going to be aging her up to a child. And she got fickle, motivating, child of summer, and wealthy. And let's go ahead and hop into cast with her and give her her makeover. All right, there is Asila Like. And now we're going to go see Amira Goodwell. Okay, this is Amira Goodwell. We are going to be aging her up to a child. And she has the traits of timid, perfect pitch, linguist, working class, high self-esteem, neutral confidence. And let's go ahead and hop into cast with her and give her her makeover. And there is Amira Goodwell. Okay, so everyone's going to go in and get themselves a little bit of rest because it is nighttime. I'm just going to have them do a little bit of sleeping here, and we will pass the time a little bit because it is still quite early. It does look like maybe, why don't you get yourself a little bit to eat here, Freya? Freya is feeling a little bit hungry, so I'm just going to have her get herself some food and then go to the washroom. Everyone else is just getting themselves some much needed sleep, which is fantastic. We love that. And then once Bella gets up, we'll have her go to the washroom and get herself something to eat. And then we'll get ourselves ready for our wedding. And everyone will be going and seeing the ceremony, which is going to be fantastic. Really, you just ate and now you're out here doing bloody marshmallows. All right, so Bella is up. She's just going to the washroom, and then I'm going to have her go ahead and go get herself something to eat. Everyone's going to go ahead and get up. It does seem like it is time for everyone to help themselves to a little bit of food here. Oh, the food's gone off. Oh, that's not ideal. All right, let's go ahead and we will travel and get them married. Let's travel with Benedict and Allard and Juliana and Demarcus and Freya. We're all going to go to the wedding. You're not going to eat that, are you? Don't eat that. All right, let's go ahead and travel to the wedding. Okay, so we have all arrived here at the ceremony. I'm just going to go ahead and seat the Sims. We're going to seat Allard, Juliana, Demarcus, and Freya. And then we will have her go ahead and get married to Benedict.
Arugaba.
Benedict is like, can we get inside? I'm burning to death. I am on fire. All right, you're better now that you're inside. So they are just going to go ahead and exchange their vows, which is fantastic. They're going to promise to love each other for all eternity. As we know, he's a vampire. She still has not figured that out yet. I think that she will find that out once they are intimate with one another. And then he's going to be like, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. And she's going to be like, oh my gosh. By that point, it's going to be a little late. But, you know, she is in love with him. She doesn't understand the magnetic pull she feels to him, but she knows she's in love with him. And I think that she's going to be accepting of the fact that he is a vampire once she figures it out. But I guess we will just have to see how that goes. But they are promising to love each other. And, you know, she is none the wiser at this point. She has no idea what's going on. But they are going to be moving in together. We are going to move Bella in over here with the Goodwells. Obviously, right now, Mary lives with them. We will probably at some point be moving Mary out or marrying Mary off to someone. We will just have to see how that goes. But for now, Bella's going to move in with Benedict, and we are going to hop into Cass with them, and we'll change Bella's clothes to the Goodwell colors and change her name. All right, so we have Bella here. We're just going to change her last name to Goodwell. And she is going to be in the color purple now. So let's go ahead and update her outfits to the color purple. There is Bella Goodwell in her purple outfits. Let's get her photo for the family tree. And then we are going to update Benedict in the color purple as well. right, there is Benedict Goodwell. All right, so we are just going to go ahead and we're going to let these two consummate their marriage. So let's go ahead and have him approach Bella. Let's do a kiss with her, and then we will have them try for a baby.
Shibi Merkib. Mola. Sequinario. Ulak. Akroba.
He's like, do you want to go ahead and consummate our marriage? And she's like, I would love to do that. And he's like, okay, let's go ahead and make it official. And
Lloyd.
I think that she's kind of nervous about that. Obviously, he's a little bit older than her. She knows that he's probably a little bit more experienced than her. So she's probably feeling a little bit nervous. He obviously is not. But she's probably feeling a little bit nervous, being that it's, you know, the first time that she's ever been with a boy. And, you know, she doesn't know exactly what to expect. But also she's thinking to herself, you know, I love him. And she has no idea what's about to happen, in the sense that she's about to find out that he has special powers, in the sense that he is a vampire. And so she is about to find out that he is different. And so he's going to have to tell her, obviously, that he is a vampire, because she's going to notice that he has, you know, superhuman strength, that, you know, is not normal. And she's like, you know, what is really going on? And, you know, this is not normal at all. And so he's going to have to explain to her that he is a little bit different, that he has been turned into a vampire, that he was with someone else previous to her, and that's obviously going to be news to her, because she wasn't obviously going to be maybe expecting that. I mean, clearly she's not naive enough to think that she would, you know, I guess be his only, but I guess she was probably hoping that maybe she was. And so he's just going to go ahead and show her that he is a vampire, and he's going to tell her, you know, I hope that you can still accept me like this. And she's going to be like, it's a little bit to adjust to, but I mean, I still love you, and I don't know exactly how to feel. She's going to cry on him a little bit, because she's like, this is not at all what I had expected. But it is what it is. And so he's going to go ahead and hide his dark form. He just wanted to show her, obviously, that he was different, and he wanted to be up in front about it with her. And, you know, we're thankful that he's at least honest with her, because he clearly has feelings for her. He clearly loves her, and he wants her to know the truth about him. She's going to go ahead and take a pregnancy test. We're going to see if that shower woohoo got them pregnant, and it did. They are eating for 2. And she's going to let him know that she's expecting, and he's like, are you kidding? And she's like, no, we're having a baby. And he's like, that's amazing news. So it does say that she's excited about the baby, and it does look like he's excited about the fact that they're having a baby as well. He's ecstatic after hearing about a new family member. So we love that they are excited about this, and I am thrilled to say that they are going to be having themselves another little one, which is fantastic news. As we know, you know, he had a child already that he didn't know about, that unfortunately did pass on, and now he's going to be having another child, which is fantastic news. As we know, Archibald and Carly on the other side of the world in Forgotten Hollow are engaged, I believe, and are living together, and they are expecting a baby. So let's go in and check on them. Okay, so we have arrived here in the Von Schwann residence. As you can see, Carly is very, very pregnant. She will be entering into her 3rd trimester in about 6 hours, so she's well on her way. As you can see, she's feeling kind of sick to her stomach. She's got some morning sickness going on, as you can see. As we know, she and Archibald are in a really good place. She's doing well here in this house. I think she is adjusting to being here. She's feeling really happy about being here with him. She is in love with him quite significantly. She's in love with him. And she's adjusting pretty well to being around. As we know, Archibald has plans for his mother to turn her. So we are going to get Elise Marie to come on over. Let's invite Elise Marie to come around. We're going to have a talk with her about turning our betrothed into a vampire once she has the baby. So he's just going to call her on over and just see if he can talk her into turning Carly once they have the baby. He still has to talk to Carly about it. Carly has not made up her mind if that's what she wants to do or not. Elise Marie is sleeping. Are you serious? Where is Carly? She's in here singing in the mirror. I mean, seriously? Come in here and talk to Carly. We want to have us a bit of a chat about the vampire stuff some more. So we are going to have us a deep conversation about that. He wants to have a deep conversation about the fact that he wants her to be a vampire. He really, really wants her to contemplate that. And I think that she has been thinking about it, but she's just not sure if that's something that she wants right now. Can she do any vampire things with him?
Sibuna Torble Forbe.
Ah, so shum.
Klarshin.
You know me.
Ah. Karu Nubu. Yo, yeah.
Oh, Lumpa. Marik Poshima? Oh, Tinkwell.
Huh?
Blah.
Oh.
Smarted. Uh-huh.
So she's going to share her secret with him that, you know, she's thinking about the fact that she could be a vampire. And she's going to tell him, you know, I always thought that I would get married again or not get married again. But lately I've been thinking about marriage with you. And he's like, honestly, I, you know, don't really know how I feel about the whole marriage thing. And she's like, why? And he's like, I don't really follow human traditions. And she's like, oh. And he's like, but I would be willing to spend my eternity with you if you would become a vampire. And she's like, oh. Okay. And he's like, that is, you know, obviously a deeper bond than your human notions. And she's like, do you think so? And he's like, no, I know so. So they're discussing it. She's like, I will give it some serious thought. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to my mother because she's the person that would be able to turn you. And she's like, okay, you talk to your mom. I'll consider thinking about it. He's like, we can't obviously turn you until after you have the baby, so it'll give you a little bit more time to think, but you definitely need to think about it. And she's like, okay, let's see if we can get Elise Marie over now.
Oh, chef.
Elise Marie, you're irritating me. All right, let's take him over to their house. Obviously, she's quote-unquote sleeping, but she's probably really not. Let's go to the Von Schwans and see if we can visit. All right, so he's just shown up at the house, and let's knock on the door and get them all inside before they burn to death. All right, so he's come to the house, and he's like, look, I called, and I called, and I called, and nobody was answering, but I knew that you guys were, like, not asleep, but you were acting like you were asleep. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I just need you to, you know, have a conversation with me about the love of my life. And she's like, the love of your life? And he's like, yeah. And he's going to gush about his partner to her. And he's going to say, I've fallen in love with Carly and she's pregnant with my baby right now, but I want to turn her into a vampire. And so they're going to have a deep conversation about it. And he's just going to say, look, I can't turn her, but you can. And I was really hoping that you would consider it. Like, she's thinking about it, and after she has the baby, like, I would really like for you to go ahead and turn her into a vampire. And she's going to be like, I'll consider it for you if it's something that you really, really want. And he's like, other than you training me in my vampire powers and helping me to get strong, like, I don't think I can get strong enough to turn her by myself in time. And I really would like for you to go ahead and just go, you know, do this for me. Like, I know that you don't like necessarily turning people, but if it's something that you would do, then I really would like for you to do this for me. And she's like, I would definitely consider doing this for you, Archibald. Like, I don't mind doing it. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I fell in love with Conrad and turned him, and like, I completely understand. And he's like, okay, wonderful. So they're discussing this. They're going to go ahead and, you know, make this plan that if Carly agrees that they're going to go ahead and turn her into a vampire. And Archibald is feeling really, really grateful to his mom right now, and he's just like, okay, this is fantastic news. Like, of course I knew she would do this. This is wonderful. And so he's like, I am so glad that, you know,
Hey, Finn.
she agreed that she would do this to me for me, because like obviously, you know, this was something that I definitely wanted. And so he's just going to tell her, like, you're never going to believe, like, how happy I am, and I've got the baby, and, you know, I'm just so glad that you are, you know, agreeing to do this for me. Like, it means so much to me. And so he's going to give her a hug, and he's going to thank her for everything that she's agreed to do. And he's like, I really, really appreciate you, Mom.
Shuna Glabe.
Snurs?
Ibaro.
Oh, she's mentoring him in the vampire skills. Okay, well, I don't know why you're doing that. I told you to give him a hug. Can't you give him a hug? Give your mom a hug. He's like, thank you so much, Mom, for everything. I really, really appreciate you. And she's like, you're welcome, son.
I'll move.
And he's like, I really would love to hang out, but I probably really do need to get back home. And she's like, okay. And he's like, you know, Carly's just really pregnant right now, and she's got the kids, and I just really need to help her. And she's like, all right, honey, let me know whenever she decides, and I'll come round. And he's like, okay. So he's going to go back. He's feeling super confident. He's feeling really, really pumped. Like, this is all going to go my way. I can't wait. I know Carly's going to come around, and she's going to say yes. And, you know, we're going to be able to live through eternity together. And, you know, he's just feeling on top of the world, which is fantastic, because Archibald really does deserve all of the happiness in the world. Okay, so we have arrived back here at the house where Archibald lives, and we are just going to go ahead and we're going to take him inside. I don't want him to burn up. So let's go ahead and get him to go in. Archibald, go inside before you catch on fire, because even though it's dark here, the sun is technically still out, and I don't want him to catch fire. So we're just going to get him to go on inside, and then we are going to try to find Carly and get him and her to have a little bit of a conversation. He wants to tell her how the conversation went with his mom. So Carly's going to come down. They're going to have a little bit of a conversation. He's just going to let her know how the conversation went. She is just loving on him a little bit. And she's like, well, did you talk to your mom? And he's like, actually, I did. And she's like, and how did that go? And he's like, well, I explained to her that we're in a relationship, a committed relationship, that, you know, you obviously are considering that you want to marry me, but obviously we don't... or I don't feel that I want to deal with the human marriage norms, and that I want to spend my life in eternity with you. And I explained to her that we already have one child and you have another one on the way. And I told her that I really wanted her to turn you, and that you were debating that. And I'm hoping that you're going to come around, and that you're going to come to terms with the fact that I want to spend eternity with you. She has advised me that if you decide that you do want to go ahead and become a vampire, that she, because of how I feel about you, will go ahead and, you know, give you the bite to become a vampire, and allow you to become a vampire with me, so that we can live our existence out into eternity together. And Carly's like, okay. And he's like, so I just need you to decide if that's what you want. Obviously that can't take place while you're pregnant. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, I'll continue thinking on it. So Carly's going to go ahead. She's going to get herself ready for bed. She is feeling a little bit tired. Carly, you need to go on to bed. So she's got a lot of things that she needs to think about. She is kind of coming around to the idea that this is something that she does want. She understands that Archibald isn't one to be the marrying sort, but she does know that she feels very strongly for him, and that she does want to spend her life with him. And if this is the way she has to do it, then she's like, I'll, you know, just have to spend my life with him. You know, he's explained to her that there's a good possibility that when the children are old enough, they could potentially even be turned into vampires when they're teenagers if they want. And I think that's swaying her decision a little bit as well. So she's going to go ahead and get a little bit of sleep. Everyone's going to go ahead and turn in for the night and get a little bit of rest. That way they can all be rested up for tomorrow. And I think we are going to see this family obviously change and grow a little bit towards possibly a vampire lineage, because I do think Carly is definitely on track to thinking that she is wanting to come around to Archibald's ways. And so we will be seeing that take place. Obviously, that won't happen until she has the baby, but he is pretty convincing, and she, like I said, really does love him. So we are just going to go ahead and see their story unfold a little bit further, which is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for that to take place. All right, so we are going to go ahead and leave this episode off here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in part B of our Ultimate Decades Challenge, where we are going to be seeing Carly go ahead and give birth to this little one. We are also going to be seeing some more birthdays come down the way, as well as Allard getting married in that second part. And I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.